All right. 23. But if, Catullus, you inquire my sentiments on that learning, I am of opinion that so much time need not be spent on it by a man of ability, and one who studies with a view to the forum, to the senate, to the causes, to civil administration, as those have chosen to give it to whom life has failed while they were learning. For all arts are handled in one manner by those who apply them to practice, and another by those who, taking delight in treating of the arts themselves, never intend to do anything else during the whole course of their lives. The master of the gladiators is now in the extremity of age, yet daily meditates upon the improvement of his science, for he has no other care. But Quintus Velocius had learned that exercise in his youth, and as he was naturally formed for it, and had thoroughly acquired it, he was, as it is said in Lucilius, though as a gladiator in the school, well skilled and bold enough to match with any, yet resolved to devote more attention to the duties of the forum and of friendship and to his domestic concerns. Valerius sung every day, for he was on the stage. What else was he to do? But our friend Numerus Furius sings only when it is agreeable to him, for he is the head of a family and of equestrian dignity. He learned when a boy as much as it was necessary for him to learn. The case is similar with regard to sciences of the greatest importance. We have seen Quintus Turbero, a man of eminent virtue and prudence, engaged in the study of philosophy night and day, but his uncle Africanus you could scarcely ever perceive paying any attention to it, though he paid a great deal. Such knowledge is easily gained if you only get as much of it as is necessary and have a faithful and able instructor and know how to learn yourself. But if you are inclined to do anything else all your life, your very studies and inquiries daily give rise to something for you to investigate as an amusement at your leisure. Thus it happens that the investigation of particular points is endless, though general knowledge is easy. If practice, established learning, once acquired, moderate exercise be devoted to it, and memory and inclination continue. But it is pleasant to be constantly learning if we wish to be thoroughly masters of anything. As if I, for instance, had a desire to play excellently at backgammon or had a strong attachment to tennis, though perhaps I should not attain perfection in those games, but others, because they excel in any performance, take a more vehement delight in it than the object requires, as Titius in tennis, Brula in backgammon. There is no reason, therefore, why anyone should dread the extent of the sciences because he perceives old men still learning them, for either they were old men when they first applied to them, or have been detained in the study of them till they became old, or are of more than ordinary stupidity. And the truth, in my opinion, is that a man can never learn thoroughly that which he has not been able to learn quickly. 24. Now, acclaimed Catullus, I understand, Crassius, what you say, and readily assist to it. I see that there has been time enough for you, a man of vigor and ability, to learn to acquire a knowledge of what you mention. Do you still persist, rejoined Crassius, to think that I say what I say of myself and not of my subject? But if it be agreeable to you, let us now return to our stated business. To me, said Catullus, it is very agreeable. To what end, then, continued Crassius, does this discourse, drawn out to so great of length and brought from such deep sources, tend? The two parts which remain for me, that of adorning language and contemplating eloquence in general in its highest perfection, one of which requires that we should speak gracefully, the other aptly, have this influence that eloquence is rendered by their means productive of the utmost delight, made to penetrate effectually in the inmost hearts of the audience and furnished with all possible variety of matter. But the speech which we use in the forum, adapted for contest, full of acrimony, formed to suit the taste of the vulgar, is poor indeed and beggarly. And on the other hand, even that which they teach who profess themselves masters of the art of speaking is not of much more dignity than the common style of the forum. We have need of a greater pomp of choice matter collected, imported, and brought together from all parts. Such a provision as must be made by you, Caesar, for the next year, with such pains as I took in my aedileship, because I did not suppose that I could satisfy such a people as ours with ordinary matters, or those of their own country. As for choosing and arranging words and forming them into proper periods, the art is easy, or I may say the mere practice without any art at all. Of matter, the quantity and variety are infinite, and as the Greeks were not properly furnished with it, and our youth in consequence almost grew ignorant while they were learning, even Latin teachers of rhetoric, please the gods, have arisen within the last 2 years, a class of persons whom I have suppressed by my edict when I was censor, not because I was unwilling, as some, I know not who, asserted that the abilities of our youth should be improved, but because I did not wish that their understanding should be weakened and their imprudence strengthened. For among the Greeks, whatever was their character, I perceived that there was, besides exercise of the tongue, some degree of learning, as well as politeness suited to their liberal knowledge. But I knew that these new masters could teach youth nothing but effrontery, which, even when joined with good qualities, is to be avoided, and in itself especially so. And as this, therefore, was the only thing that was taught by the Latins, their school being indeed a school of impudence, I thought it became the censor to take care that the evil should not spread further. I do not, however, determine and decree on the point as if I despaired that the subjects which we are discussing can be delivered and treated with elegance in Latin, for both our language and the nature of things allows the ancient and excellent science of Greece to be adapted to our customs and manners. But for such a work are required men of learning, such as none of our countrymen have been in this department. But if ever such arise, they will be preferable to the Greeks themselves.